നമ്മൾ ഓഫാക്കും നമ്മൾ സമയത്ത് ബന്ധാക്കും.
Uh, Good afternoon to all respected teachers. A very warm welcome to today's sessions. Thank you for joining us. And today we will going to discuss about project inclusion program with our expert. So before that, I would like to request that DC sir, uh, Ernakulam DC sir, Mr. Santosh Kumar sir, please share your valuable word with us. Over to you,
Madam,
sir.
I've been trying to contact our DC sir because he doesn't seem to be in network.
Okay,
Uh,
sir.
I'm R.A.
So,
Patil, Assistant Commissioner, but after a while, he is likely to join, or at least will make sure that towards the end of the program, he will address the participants.
okay, sir, but I would like to tell you that please you said some motivational words to us to motivate us, sir. Can you please
Acha.
share some valuable words to us?
Thank you, madam.
Over to you, sir.
Yeah. Uh, the thing is, this initiative, in collaboration with Rupanta team, has been started in all regions, and I'm very happy to say that we are the first ones who introduced this among all 25 regions of KVS, because as per the reports, now other regions have started the training programs for primary teachers and TZTs for CBA and CBL. But we have reached a much advanced stage. Now, the only part that is left out is implementation and its follow up, monitoring, and then follow up. So, for that, we need able leaders who can do this task at local level, because for assistant commissioners and deputy commissioners from RO, it's only 1 or 2 days visit in a particular Kendriya Vidyalaya, and that too we hardly get sufficient time for assessment of impact that this program is likely to have. And therefore, mostly we rely on the reports and feedback that we get from principals and HMs and senior PRTs, who we have requested principals to nominate for, overseeing the implementation of this program. So today, there are, I believe, 39, all 39 Kendriya Vidyalayas being represented by senior PRTs or HMs, and hope this session will be an enriching experience and will provide us an further insight, because I believe all uh, today's participants have already attended face-to-face session in the first phase, and now it's almost going to be concluding phase, because after this we'll have to ensure implementation at Vidyalaya level. Okay, so I must thank the team Rupanta for bringing this initiative into KVS and empowering our teachers by means of trainings and these workshops. Okay, Madam Pooja, uh, I'd like to
Yes, sir.
pass it over to you. But before that, in between, if DC sir joins,
Sure,
then
sure.
surely would like to have a word with DC sir, word from DC sir also.
Okay,
Okay.
sir. Okay, sir. Sure.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words and motivating us. So now I would like to start the session. We have our expert from the project inclusion team, Miss Rajvi Sangi. She is a clinical psychologist. So I would like to request Rajvi ma'am, can you please start the session? Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Pooja. Yes, very warm welcome to all of you today's session, and thank you so much for giving your time this Saturday, most importantly, and joining us for this session. So, as Pooja rightly mentioned, today we'll be discussing about project inclusion in more detail. Like Sir was mentioning, I believe you all have been briefed about what exactly is project inclusion. So, we will go one step further today and discuss how it can help the students, how we can reach the teachers, and most importantly, what will be the job as coordinators, what role the coordinators will play in the implementation of the program, and making sure that the teachers are all aligned and connected towards this common goal that we have regarding inclusivity. So, without further ado, we would begin today's session. So, I would like to begin this session by first presenting certain numbers in front of you all. So as you all can see in on the screen in front of you all, there are certain numbers that tell us the current state of our country and globally as well. So, firstly, we can see that 26.8 million, that is the number of people, according to the census that was conducted in India in 2011, that come under the category of people with disabilities or an individual with disabilities. And when we try to bring it down, it comes up to roughly 2.21% of our entire population. And on the other hand, when we look at UNESCO's report, which was presented to us in 2019, we get the number of 7.8 million children in India, which are basically under 19 years, and we can categorize them or we can say that these are children with disabilities. So you all can see how huge this number is in India, and out of that entire number, the population of children that it constitutes. When we take it one step ahead and try to classify them as disorders. So, firstly, we have a look at the specific learning disability. So, it is estimated that nearly 1 in 12 children in India have SLD. So, 1 out of every 12 children is said to have a specific learning disorder in India. Then, when we go ahead and look at NDD, which is neurodevelopmental disorder, it is believed that about one fifth of these children have two or more NDDs, which is neurodevelopmental disorders. We all know that there are within neurodevelopmental disorders, there are different disorders. So, it is believed one fifth of these children have two or more neurodevelopmental disorders. And when we look at ASD, which is autism spectrum disorder, it is said that 1.7 to 2 million children in India have ASD. Now, I don't have to emphasize more on the fact that these are huge numbers. There are a lot many children in our country that deal with these disabilities and possibly do not have the correct means or the correct way forward, the correct resources in the form of few teachers who can help them. So when we look at the reforms that are being conducted, because we've not just gathered here today to discuss the problems or the challenges that our country faces. We've also gathered here today to probably discuss solutions. And one such solution which the NEP endorses is inclusive education. Because through inclusive education, these children are given a platform, they provided the same resources that other children are provided. They're given a basic infrastructure, like they can study with their other peers, with their students, and they're provided books and, like I said, resources in the form of few teachers. So NEP endorses inclusive education. And on the other hand, the RPWD Act, Right of Persons with Disabilities, now increase the number from 7 disabilities to 21 disabilities, which broadens the spectrum of disabilities in India. So this takes into account our neurodevelopmental disorders, our SLD children, and all of these children now can be helped under the RPWD Act. So this is where we will talk more in detail now about project inclusion. And before we do that, we can also have a look at what is actually required. What do we need to help these students in India? The number we saw, the millions of students in India with disabilities, what do we actually need? What do we actually require to help them? So the first thing that we can see is a strong partnership is required between the teacher and a special educator. Because as long as a teacher is not able to at least identify the basic signs and symptoms of, say, SLD or ASD, she will not be able to communicate that to the special educator. And as long as the special educator and the teacher don't work synchronously, they will not be able to move ahead and devise an appropriate path for the child to go. Secondly, what we need is an experienced team of experts. I know that not all of the schools across India still have an access to a basic thing like a psychologist, a counselor, a special educator present, because all of these experts are important in the school. All of them have mastered their own branches, and all of them can help the child in different ways. Along with that, supportive teachers. Like I mentioned, it's important for the teachers to be able to identify at least basic signs and symptoms. The basic screening that we say, it's important that the teacher can keep in mind or identify that, say, this particular child is continuously dealing with this hardship or this challenge, because only then will she be able to reach out for more resources and help. The second thing is accessibility. It's important for the teachers, for the special educators, for the principal of the school to be able to access certain resources, to be able to access information. And it's also important for all of these resources, all of this information to be multilingual. We live in a country where there are several regional languages, and it's important for all of our resources, for all of our scriptures to be translated in certain multilingual languages so that accessibility becomes easier. And along with that, state government engagement is very important, because as long as the government cannot take certain reforms at a level, as long as the government is not included or working hand in hand with the schools, they would not be able to understand that the challenges that the teachers are facing at a local level. Next comes professional courses. Like we all know, it's important for all of us to stay up to date with our knowledge. There are new findings that are continuously coming out in our field about possible ways in which we can help the students, possible ways in which we can identify a certain disability or a challenge. So it's important for the teachers, for the experts, for all of us working with children to stay up to date regarding these new findings, to be uh, for our knowledge to continuously be updated. And the second thing is a strong and increased parental participation. As long as there is no parental participation, as long as there is no awareness on the hand of the parent regarding the challenge that their child is facing, it will be very difficult for even the teacher to help the child, because after the school or it's the home that the child spends most of his or her time in. So it's important for the parent also to be involved and participate in the child's growth. So these are a few basic things, a few basic requirements that we can say that we need for the students with disabilities to excel. Next, now we come about how project inclusion can help in this. Where will project inclusion play its role, and how do we help the teachers in this entire process? So, when I talk about project inclusion, it was launched in the year 2016. When we first began in the state of Ghaziabad, and we would give on ground trainings and workshops to the teachers. That's how we started. These trainings were 3 to 4 days long, and the teachers would come. We would talk to them about these neurodevelopmental disorders or other disabilities. However, before we would take these programs, before we would start these workshops, there would be a number of teachers that would come up to us and tell us, "And ma'am, we don't have such students in our classroom. No student in our classroom is facing such issues." But when these same teachers were educated, were given knowledge, were sensitized about these disabilities, were given more information about them, those same teachers were able to recognize at least 18,000 or more cases of probable NDD. So, if we begin from the start, we first started in 14 states and union territories where we oriented more than 20,000 teachers. And when these 20,000 plus teachers were sensitized about these disabilities, they were able to screen more than 18,000 probable cases of NDD. And when our team of special educators and psychologists visited the schools, conducted on ground assessments, they were able to confirm more than 6,000 cases of neurodevelopmental disorders. So you can see when these same batch of teachers, when these same teachers were oriented, were sensitized correctly about the disabilities, within their same classroom, they were able to identify the students. So what's needed here is sensitization, awareness. Only then would we be able to help the students in the way that they require the help. So this is basically how project inclusion began. However, in 2020, uh, we were all hit by the coronavirus pandemic, which is when we decided to take this entire project on a digital medium. And simultaneously, we also realized that there is a need to take this project to even more teachers than we can, because through on ground training, our reach becomes very constrained. We can only sensitize or orient a particular amount of teachers, a fixed number of teachers in one session. Plus, the teachers have to reschedule their classes. It's a hassle for the teachers as well. So, we decided to take this entire project on a digital medium. So, when I talk about project inclusion, it's largely divided into three phases. The first phase is all about sensitizing and orienting the teachers regarding the disabilities, regarding inclusive education. Um, After that, based on the knowledge that the teachers acquired in the first phase, they would be conducting the screening of the students. So the screening this entire information, the screening, everything is available through our app. So the teacher goes ahead and then conducts the screening of the students on the app, where through the screening, she would be able to identify exactly where the student's challenges lie, exactly where is it that this student is facing certain problems. And then once that problem area, once that domain is identified, the teacher can go ahead and administer interventions, which she is again given through the app. So for every individual need of the student, because every student would be facing different challenges, different problems. So based on that, they would be recommended different intervention plans, different strategies that they can administer in their own classes. Because we realize that as teachers, there is a lot of work that the teachers have to put into. So giving individual attention can become very difficult at times. So these interventions are designed in a way, keeping in mind that the teacher can can do these strategies, can administer these strategies in an entire classroom, so that she does not have to give individual attention to one particular student. So this is the way project inclusion is designed, and it basically stems from the need to reach more teachers and to provide this entire information, to provide the entire screening process and interventions free of cost. So even now, when these teachers download the app, when they go ahead and do the screening of the students and then go ahead and administer the interventions, they can do so completely free of cost. There is no fee that they have to pay, there is no charge that they have to pay for our course or the entire process ahead. So now we would go in detail and talk about each phase and how each phase helps the student as well as the teacher. So we first talk about our first phase, which is sensitization. And in this phase, we have our course. This is one of the most important phases in this entire program, because it is here where the teacher is oriented and sensitized about the needs of the student, about exactly where students can possibly face challenges. So when I talk about our course, the first course is Learning Difficulties, Understanding and Management Level 1. And there are 17 modules in this course, and every module has approximately 4 videos. Now I'll be showing you a sample of one such video ahead shortly. Now these are very short videos that are designed keeping in mind that the teachers have a very busy schedule. So these are short interactive videos and very creatively designed. I'll be showing you a sample of the same ahead. Now, when I talk about the course content, what all topics does the course cover? So, we talk about inclusive education, we talk about education policies on children with NDD, we talk about SLD, ASD. So, all of these topics, it's a broad range of topics that the course covers, where the teacher will again be sensitized and oriented. She can go again and refer if she needs any more information through the course. Now, these our modules are based on an audiovisual content. Like I mentioned, there are videos present in every module, around 4 to 5 videos present in the module, and along with that, there is also reading material present. I'll be showing you a sample of both ahead shortly. And all of this material is available in 8 different languages on our app right now. And we're working towards bringing it forward in more languages as well. Like I mentioned, we wanted to make sure that language is not a barrier in education, that language is not a reason why a teacher cannot access a particular course or is not given access to a particular source of information, which is why we have taken into account the regional languages in India. So, English, Hindi, Gujarati, Marathi, and even more languages. There are 8 languages in which our course is available right now, and we are efficiently working towards bringing it forward in more languages as well. And when we talk about the module, every module has embedded assessments in it. So after the completion of every module, the teacher has to go through an assessment. It's very short, a couple of questions based on whatever information was given to the teacher in the previous module. And based on the performance on that module, the teacher will be given a certificate. So uh, after every completion of every module, the teacher is given a certificate, and after the completion of the course, after the entire course is completed, the teacher is given a course completion certificate as well. So based on the teacher's performance, if the teacher has scored a 60 between a 60 to 70%, she'll be given a course completion certificate. And for those teachers who have put in a lot of their efforts for their children and shown a lot of enthusiasm, and those who scored 70% and up are given a certificate of excellence. So these certificates can be downloaded from the app itself. The teacher can easily download it on her phone. So this is how our course will look like on the app. So the first course that I am talking about, Learning and Difficulties, Understanding and Management Level 1, is the first one that is mentioned on your screen. You can see it as well. So when you click on launch, that is how you would be able to access the course. So this is how the material will look like on your course. You'll be shown a video, and you will also be given reading material as well. So we've kept in mind how some of us like reading in our spare time or on our way to work. So we've tried to include reading material in all of our chapters, in all of our modules, and we've tried to keep it very short because we know that teachers do have a very busy schedule. So we've tried to keep it short. We've tried to design it in a very simple language so that teachers can easily and quickly read this information and become sensitized. Now, next comes a video. So this is a short example of how the video would be, and I would request you all to watch it, and then we would connect after.
Dyslexia, understanding the disorder A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. You must be wondering, why are we revisiting learning alphabets at this stage? For you, these are simple alphabets. Within these 26 letters, you may be able to identify the vowels and consonants. Now, what if we say that this isn't the case with everyone? Meet Zoya. She's 6 years old, and this is how the letters appear to her. All that she sees is some dancing and floating shapes. Zoya has a hard time connecting letters to the sounds they make and then blending those sounds into words. Since she cannot pronounce the words or recognize their sounds, she cannot understand the meanings. So, what's the case with Zoya? Zoya has a disorder called dyslexia. Dyslexia is a language-based learning disability. Students diagnosed with this condition face challenges in interpreting and processing language. The disorder affects an individual's ability to read, spell, write, and speak. While these students have a normal vision and are just as smart as their peers, they struggle with their academics, thus requiring the teacher to adapt to an individual's way of learning. In this series of videos, we will learn about some teaching strategies for students with dyslexia. Before we start with the sessions, it is important for us to know that a supportive teaching environment plays a vital role in making the classroom dyslexia friendly. a teacher's understanding of specific difficulties and how they may affect the student's classroom performance is a blueprint for the teacher to plan and proceed with the lectures. From the next session onwards, we will begin to learn the strategies that can be implemented to teach the students having this disorder. Stay tuned.
Yes, so as you all can see, these are very short videos that are a part of every module, and the teacher can watch it very easily in her spare time. And we've tried to design them in a way that they're very simple, easy to understand. Like you all saw, we covered the important aspects of the disorder, the basic information that the teacher basically needs to know to be able to identify these signs and symptoms in the student. So with that, we move ahead to the courses to the certificates that I was talking about. So like I mentioned even earlier, for the teachers that score more than 50% on every module. So basically there are 17 modules, and after the completion of every module is when you have an assessment. And for the teachers that score more than 50% on that module completion assessment, they'll be given a certificate that looks like this. This is basically a module completion certificate. For the teachers that score between 60 to 75% on the course completion certificate. So basically after the entire course is completed, there is a small assessment given to the teachers. And on the completion of that assessment, the teachers are given a course completion certificate. And for those teachers who score more than 75%, they're given a certificate of excellence. So this is basically what the certificates look like, and they can easily be downloaded from our app. And you can share them with your colleagues, you can upload them on your LinkedIn or social media, etc. So this was all about our first phase and basically how the teachers are sensitized, how they're made aware of the disorders, and what all information they can expect to get through the first phase. Then next we move on to our second phase, which is identification. Because simply gaining this information is not going to take us anywhere. We have to work towards identifying the students in our classroom so that they can be given the appropriate help. So how does identification work? How does our screening tool work? Again, this tool is available. The screening performer, the screening questions are available on the app itself. And when I talk about screening, screening is divided into three parts. First, we begin with screening 1. And in screening 1, the teacher is able to identify the domain in which the child is facing difficulty. Is the child facing difficulty in the behavioral domain, in the social communication domain, in the cognitive domain? Exactly where is it that his or her challenges lie? So that's what we come to know through screening 1. Then we move forward to profiler. Through Profiler, we try to highlight the individual talents and strengths of a child. Every child has some talent, some strength, some area that they're good in. So that's what we try to highlight through our profiler. And sometimes these are the things that help us in garnering the attention of the child. For example, if a certain child has an affinity towards music, or a certain child is interested in painting, we can use that to teach the child certain concepts of science or mathematics. So this is where knowing the child's interests, understanding their strengths becomes very important. So that's what we come to know through the profiler. And next we go on to advanced screening. In the advanced screening, we're able to identify exactly where is it that the child's difficulties lie. So for example, in the screening 1, it was the writing domain that we discovered. So now we're able to narrow down exactly where in writing is the child facing difficulties. Is the child copying incorrectly from the blackboard? Is the child making a lot of letter reversals? Mirror image is what we say, like writing B for D or P for Q, or is the child making a lot of spelling errors? So exactly where is it that that the child's problem or challenges lie? Because as long as we're not able to identify the exact problem, the exact challenge, we won't be able to administer the appropriate strategies or make a correct intervention plan for the child. Which is why reaching or doing the advanced screening is a very important part of our entire screening process, because identifying the specific difficulty is very important. And that's what we get to do, or that's what we get to know through our advanced screening. So when I talk about screening, it's class specific or grade specific. The pre-primary classes come in our foundation stage 1, class 1 and 2 come in foundation stage 2, 3 and 5 are under the preparatory stage, middle stage is classes 6 and 8, senior stage is classes 9 and 12. So we've tried to make this class specific and not age specific as much, because there could be a certain reason in which a student is not in a class which is appropriate towards age, his or her age. So that is why our screening is designed to be class specific. So this is a sample of the questions that you will see once you start the screening process. So this is a sample of our questions in screening 1. Basically, here is where we try to identify the domain in which the child is facing difficulties. So you can see there are questions from letter reversals to identifying symbols, punctuation marks, getting confused with direction, etc. So we try to narrow down the exact domain in which the child is facing difficulty. So these are examples of our questions of screening 1. Once the entire screening is completed, once the teacher finishes all of her screening 1, profiler and advanced screening, she is able to access the report through the app itself. So the first screenshot that you see is an example of how the child's profile will look like on the app. So there will be some personal details that will be mentioned, and these we found are very important. If you have to discuss certain things with another teacher, the teacher can access the profile of the student through her app and get to know exactly where is it that the child is facing challenges, what was the report of her screening. If you want to discuss the child with the principal of the school, you can easily do so by just clicking on her profile. So this is what the profile looks like. And then one by one, you'll be also able to see the reports of the screening. So the first example, the second photo is the example of the screening 1 report, wherein the domain is highlighted. So you can see the academic domain is highlighted, the cognitive domain is highlighted. So there will be some recommendations given, or certain information given regarding the domain, etc. So based on that, the teacher can take appropriate actions. And then you would also be able to see the result of advanced screening, which is our third and fourth screenshot, wherein the specific concern would be highlighted. So this is how we narrow down. This is how we reach the exact challenge, the exact problem that the child is facing. So this is what the report would look like on your app. This is what the child's profile will look like on your app. So as soon as you enter the child's details on your phone, do all the screening, the profile will be generated on your app itself and you can easily access it. Next, we go on to our intervention. We got sensitized, we got our information, we use that information to do the child screening. But that is where sometimes we come to a pause. Like, yes, we've identified the difficulties that the child is facing. But as long as we don't move on to the intervention part of it, as long as we don't move on to providing the child with the appropriate support that he or she requires, we would not be working towards creating change or making change. So that is where our intervention plays a role. And that is why the interventions you can are necessary, and you can also access them through our app itself. So when I talk about the interventions and how we move about the same, so first of all, the teachers are brought on board. They're oriented about the phase 3 interventions. There's a discussion held regarding the screening that the teachers have conducted, and based on that, how they can move forward. And based on all the screenings that the teacher has conducted, she can go ahead and choose one student first that she wants to work with. And based on that student screening, based on the information that we have received, an education plan would be provided, certain strategies would be provided that the teacher can access again through the app itself. So, as and when the teacher starts using these strategies, as and when the teacher starts implementing these intervention plans, she is mapped with a special educator or a mentor or a psychologist according to the teacher's needs, who stays in constant contact with the teacher if a certain strategy is not working with the student. They suggested something else that they can do. If the teacher wants to provide some feedback, she can easily join in on these sessions and speak to her mentor or her special educator. So, whatever support the teacher requires is provided by this mentor. And the teacher can discuss the growth of the child, the teacher can discuss any other challenges that the child is facing, any other support, any other information that the teacher requires. She can gain through this mentor or a special educator who's constantly in touch with her throughout the process. And after 3 to 6 months of this constant implementation of intervention, or this constant staying in touch with your special educator or your mentor, these success stories is what we go ahead and present to other teachers, to others who are probably facing similar challenges in their classroom, so that they become aware of the kind of work that all you teachers are putting in with your students. So, this is basically how the entire process of intervention is designed. And through this intervention, through this phase 3 as well, uh, there are other courses, there is other information that the teacher can access. I'll be showing you an example of it shortly ahead. Before that, I would like to show you how the intervention looks like on your app. So when you select a particular student, you will be able to see the different challenges that have been highlighted through the screening, which is a first screenshot. So you can see that this particular student is facing these challenges. So the first one talks about does letter reversal while reading, such as reads brought as brought. Now, if that is the particular thing that you want to work on, if that is the challenge that you want to address first, you click on read plan and then you would be presented an intervention plan. So the second screenshot is the example of the intervention plan that is provided to the teachers, the steps that she can follow to help the student. And how we keep track of how the student is doing is basically by marking the levels. So level 1 is basically if the student needs a lot of help in form of physical or verbal cue. Level 2 is maybe the student needs only a verbal cue, not a physical cue. And level 3 is if the student is able to complete all of these tasks by himself or herself without any cue or prompt from the teacher. So that is how we map or take into account the progress that the student is making. And based on that, also the special educator or the mentor that is appointed to the teacher will be probably tweaking the strategies or providing more strategies to the teacher. So this is an example of what the intervention plan looks like, how the teacher can access it through the app itself, and how she can expect to get all of this information. Now here comes the courses that I was talking about that the teacher can access as a part of the intervention. Now these courses become available only after the teacher has finished the first course and completed the screening. Only then will these 3 courses become available because they are a part of our phase 3, they are a part of our intervention. Here they would be able to learn more about writing, reading, math, and the process of learning. So these are basically the additional courses that are provided to the teacher, which have some general strategies that are discussed. If a particular, some general strategies related to maybe writing are discussed in this course. Now here comes our example of the intervention plan and the reference video. So, like I mentioned, there are courses in the intervention phase as well. And in these courses are videos as well that are designed. So, I would like to show you all a short example of the video that's present in the intervention.
Chapter 1 Brain and Learning. Through the course of Project Inclusion in Phase 1, you have studied in detail about neurodevelopmental disorders, specific learning disability, autism, and intellectual disability, along with the academic challenges faced by children with each of these conditions. Through this phase, we will understand what the reasons are for their academic challenges and how, with strategies, we can work towards inclusion. A school's primary focus is academic learning, and in a classroom, there will be different kinds of learners. For some children, learning academic concepts is easy and effortless. Some are average learners, while others face challenges, especially children with disabilities. Why are there differences in learning? For this, we need to understand where and how learning happens. Where does learning take place? The obvious answer to the above question is the brain, and it is important for us to know a little about how the brain is involved in learning. Neurodevelopmental disorders are caused by impairments in the growth and development of the brain. Due to these impairments, learning gets affected and becomes a challenge for such children. A number of specific parts of the brain play a role in reading, writing, and maths, which are the core fundamentals of education. In order to be effective teachers and parents, we must understand how the brain influences the development of these skills. Let's take an example of the areas for reading in the brain. Here is the image of the brain, which shows the cortex part. It is made up of lobes. When we read a word like book, it activates the occipital lobes of our brain like any other visual stimuli. This visual area instantly analyzes the feature of the word and then moves to the part of the brain for word analysis and sound symbol connection, where the word book will be analyzed into sound, which is b, u, k. Again, the temporal lobe, as we can see, will help promote language comprehension and also reading comprehension. As we can see here, that different areas of the brain are involved in writing as well as performing mathematical calculations.
So, as you all saw, this was a very short example of the kind of videos that would be provided through the intervention phase as well, wherein the teacher can gain more information regarding exactly what is it that is causing this particular challenge in the child. And like I mentioned ahead in our writing, reading, and mathematics intervention course, she'll be able to access some general strategies as well that she can use in the entire classroom, because sometimes a child might be facing certain challenges, but it's not necessary that the child has a certain disability. So there are some challenges that many children face. So some general strategies would also be given to the teacher. So with this, we can move ahead and take a complete look at the journey of the teacher with project inclusion and how and what that would look like. So first we begin with our course where the teacher is sensitized, oriented, given information about the disabilities, about inclusive education. This is what they use to screen the students, to identify the signs and symptoms, to identify the exact problem area, to identify the exact problem that the child is facing. With that, we also move towards the profiler, wherein we are able to highlight the special interests and talents of the student. And after that, we move towards advanced screening, where the exact problem that the child is facing, like you all saw in the examples before, the exact problem that the child is facing is highlighted. And based on that, the teacher is given certain interventions which she can use in her classroom to work with the students. And once these interventions are administered, once she starts using these interventions, it is these same success stories that we go ahead and publish so that all other teachers are motivated, they come to know about the kind of work that these teachers are doing in their own classroom. So this is basically what a teacher's journey with project inclusion would look like, and this is where the role of coordinators plays an important role. Shortly ahead, I would be discussing how the coordinators would be helping the teachers in this entire process and in making sure that implementation goes on correctly. Now, I would very proudly like to present in front of you the numbers, which is till now we've oriented more than 3 lakh teachers about our program, about inclusion, about inclusive education. More than 11 thousand teachers have registered on our app, and more than 33,000 teachers, more than 11 lakh teachers, sorry, I'm very sorry, have registered on our app, and more than 33,000 teachers have completed our course. So you can see there are so many teachers that are seeing the change that Project Inclusion is bringing forward, are seeing how they're able to identify these students more efficiently, and also have gone on ahead and use these strategies and intervention plans. Now, through this entire journey, we make sure that we are connected with these teachers. If there is any doubt, if there is any support that is required by the teachers, we make sure that it is given to them. So there are doubt clearing sessions that are throughout the week. These doubt clearing sessions are organized. So for phase one, we have doubt clearing sessions every Wednesday and Friday at 4 p.m. For phase two, we have doubt clearing sessions every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. And for phase three, these doubt clearing sessions are held every Monday at 4 p.m. So all of these links will be shared with you in the chat box, and I request you all to please save these links so that if all of y'all have any doubts or questions, you all can easily join these sessions. And if going ahead, any teacher requires these links, you can also provide it to them. So if there is any assistance that is required in the form of if a teacher wants to discuss a particular student or the challenges that the student is facing, if there is any IT related support also that is required, it can easily be given to the teacher because our entire team joins these sessions. Our special educators, our psychologists, our IT team. So any support that is required can easily be given to these teachers. So this was about our doubt clearing sessions. Now we go ahead and have a quick look at the benefits of our program and exactly how is it that our program is helpful for these teachers, and how are these teachers finding it helpful, first of all. So we help in comprehensive teacher training. So basically, like I said, through all the courses that are present, through our first course or the courses in our intervention plan as well, there's a comprehensive teacher training that is conducted. Teachers are given all the information that is required, the basic understanding of the disabilities. Along with that, there is also geographical inclusivity. Like I mentioned, we have tried to include regional languages so that teachers can easily access the course in the language of her choosing. The education officers are oriented because at the end of the day, their support is also highly required. Teacher training is done. We do this, we either, if required, go to the teachers, or there are online sessions that are conducted continuously. The special educators are trained. There's cross disability training that happens because if a particular special educators are usually trained in a particular disability. So through the app, they're able to train themselves, get more information, and they're trained throughout. There's parental participation as well. There's personalized intervention because that's most important, because some interventions, some plans might work with a student which is facing particular problems, but it might not work with another student because their problems are completely different. So which is why personalized intervention is very important, and we're helping to get that to the teachers. There's end-to-end systematic change. Right now we see so many programs wherein basically what our program tries to do is work throughout with the child, right from the sensitization and orientation of the teacher to the screening process and to the intervention. We're in constant contact with the teacher. Wherever the teacher requires support, wherever help is required, we provide that to them. So we work from end to end. And of course, we work towards promoting social inclusion because at the end of the day, that is what NEP is all about. That is what we try to do when we talk about inclusive education. So this is how our program, we try to help the teachers. Now, we will go ahead and talk about the key roles for the coordinators. How is it that all of y'all, as coordinators, would be helping these teachers? How is it that you all can become an integral part of this entire process of us helping the teachers with inclusive education, helping the students? So, first of all, when we talk about enrollment, that's the most important part of it all, because unless and until the teacher is not enrolled on our app, unless and until the teacher does not register herself, he or she will not be able to access our course. So, it's very important for these teachers to enroll for the app, and for the coordinators as well to make sure that these teachers are aware of the app and they have downloaded the app and they have registered themselves on the app, because only then will they be able to access the course. Next comes the implementation process. Now, here is where we talk about the completion of our phase one. Like I mentioned before as well, the way that these videos are designed, the way that the modules are designed, the teacher can easily complete the entire course within 8 to 10 days. So it's important for the teachers to become aware of that, because sometimes many of us think that this might be a huge course, this might be a huge process, so I'd rather not. So if the teachers are informed about that, if the teachers are motivated to complete the first phase, then they can go ahead and move on to the second phase, which is an important part, because here is where we identify the difficulty that the student is having. And once we're able to identify that, we can go ahead and easily work with the student. So the implementation phase is also very important, wherein the coordinator can stay in contact with the teacher, can tell her about completing the first phase, about becoming sensitized about the information. And along with that, the special educator as well, all of those who are interested in cross-disability training can get that through the completion of our course. And after that, one by one, the teacher can go ahead and move up and complete the second phase, and then finally come to the third phase, where we are trying to work with the students, where we are trying to address their problems and challenges and working towards bringing about change. So this is basically the roles when I talk about implementation of the program. Then comes monitoring and evaluation. So basically, when the teacher would be working with the students, would be implementing the intervention, it's very likely that the teacher will have certain feedback. So the teacher can pass it along to us, or she can also pass it along through the coordinator, and the coordinator can pass it to us. Along with that, if there is any success story that the teacher wants to share while administering or implementing our intervention plan, if the teacher noticed considerable changes in the child. So all of these success stories can be shared. And like I mentioned before also, we go ahead and we publish them. Secondly comes helping or motivating the teachers to become engaged with our doubt clearing sessions. So these doubt clearing sessions are a very interactive forum. It's a very interactive place where teachers from all over join, and all of their doubts, all of their queries are discussed. So this is a place for any teacher to even learn something new, because all of us know that even when we listen to the questions or the doubts of others being discussed, we can learn a thing or two. So that is where these teachers can join these weekly doubt clearing sessions. The link of these sessions are present in the chat box. So I would request you all to please share them with your teachers, or even save them, so that if a teacher in the future asks you for the link, you can easily share it with her. And then we go ahead and come up to the screening, where it's important for the teacher to screen at least 2 students in her classroom. Because until and unless the screening is not done, until and unless the identification is not done, we cannot go ahead and work towards implementing the change that we desire. So these are key roles for a coordinator, wherein they would be the point of contact between us and the school. Any feedback that the teacher wants to share, any other information that the teacher wants to share, can be shared through them. The teachers need to be urged to join these doubt clearing sessions if they have any doubts, if they require any support, and side by side, urging them to screen at least 2 students that in their classrooms. Um, yes. Then we go to communication and support. So here we talk. Yes, Pooja, do you want to say something?
Sorry to interrupt you, Rajvi. I would like to introduce Dr. Simmi Mahajan, ma'am, who is the CHRO of the Sri Aurobindo Society and the head of Project Inclusion. So I would like to request you, ma'am, to please share your valuable word with us. Over to you, ma'am. I think there is some technical issue. You can continue, Rajvi, ma'am. We will
Okay.
introduce her later.
All right.
If, okay, thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, and with that, we come towards the last point, which is basically what I said earlier. The coordinators would be a point of contact between the teachers and the project inclusion team, wherein if any guidance is required on the teachers' end, they can provide that, or if any help is required on the end of the project inclusion team, that can be provided to the teachers. And sharing the data of the screening, sharing the data of the case studies that have been conducted by the teachers, or if any technical support is required, all of that can be easily uh, passed forward. All of that information can be easily passed forward to the project inclusion team. So these are basically the key roles of the coordinators, wherein they would be helping the teachers in the implementation of the program. As I'm sure you all learned through this entire orientation, how this program actually goes on to help the help the teachers and the students as well, actually, in our entire process of identifying the teachers, sensitizing the teachers, helping the teachers identify the issues, and then finally working on those issues. So we're trying to work on how we can bring about changing the classrooms and how we can work towards an inclusive classroom. And that's where the coordinator would be helping the teacher. So on your screen right now is a QR code. So I would request you all right now to kindly scan this QR code, and when you scan this QR code, you will be able to join the WhatsApp group, and a link for the same is mentioned in the chat box as well. So this is a WhatsApp group for all the coordinators. So if the coordinator requires any support, if there is anything that they want to pass on the end of the teacher, they can easily put it forth on that group. So you can easily scan this barcode that is present on the screen right now, or you can even use the link that is mentioned in the.
Sorry to interrupt you, Rajvi. This is a wrong WhatsApp group. I'm
Okay.
sharing you the right barcode.
All right.
And
Okay.
I also share the link of the WhatsApp group from with the chat box. Please
Uh,
join the group.
okay. Yes. So you all can use the link that's present in the chat box to join our WhatsApp group, which is basically a group for all the coordinators to put forth any doubts or any concerns that they or the teacher is facing. These are also our contact details. So the first one is our WhatsApp helpline number. So the teacher can themselves directly reach out to us also if they want through this WhatsApp helpline number. The timings are also mentioned. So any need, any help that the teacher requires, any doubt that she has, she can easily connect with our team through this WhatsApp number. And the second is our mail ID. All of this information would be shared with you through the chat box as well. So you all can save that information and then pass it on to the teachers as and when required. And now this is the QR code for the Project Inclusion app. Uh, okay, so I can see Pooja has presented the QR code for the group, for the WhatsApp group, and you all can scan that to join the WhatsApp group. I'll wait for a minute or two so that all of y'all are able to scan it.
Sorry to interrupt you, Rajvi. Uh, we can see Simmi Mahajan ma'am has joined with us. So I would like to introduce Dr. Simmi Mahajan ma'am, who is the CHRO of the Sri Aurobindo Society and the head of the project inclusion. So I would like to request you, ma'am, to please share your valuable words with us. Over to you, ma'am. Uh, ma'am, you are not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So, first of all, apologies for joining the session late because I was already in another meeting and a session. And the moment it got concluded, I'm here. And I want to express my gratitude and regard to the Deputy Commissioner Ernakulam region, Mr. Toshji, and AC Mr. Patil for giving us an opportunity and creating a wonderful audience for us. And as you can understand that Sri Aurobindo Society and Kendra Vidyalaya Sangathan has jointly envisioned something for our schools and for our system, where you can see that all the programs of Rupantar, which are like competency based learning, competency based assessment, project inclusion, project based learning, and Oro Scholar, which are towards making a big change in the education, and they are very much aligned with the goals of NEP 2020. So this session of coordinator session has a purpose that we are making sure that on ground, whatever the work we wants to do, it is well implemented in the schools. So it has been discussed with the head office, with the headquarters, KVS, where that how to ensure that the program Rupantar is successfully implemented in all the KVS. So this structure was created that for every program we need to have coordinators. So I could see that there now many of you are here, and I am guessing that all of you are teachers only, and many some of you are from the special education background also. Can anybody give me the indication, or they can put it in a chat, or they can just send that they are only from the teaching background, or they are special educators also?
Only teaching background, madam.
Great. So that's really good. So, and I could say there are special educators also, because I could there maybe there are many schools there may not be a special educator. So that altogether make it as a purpose that why this project inclusion program is required in the schools. So this is first time in India we wanted to bring it as a very comprehensive solution in the classroom, where all the children with diverse learning needs, you have seen, you have must have attended the presentation of Pooja, that there are, in spite of all the effort, there are 10%, 3 4 5 children in the classroom, they are not able to keep a pace with the other children in the classroom, whether it is on their academic front, whether it is their other class participation, or their behavior issues. So we as an organization want to empower and want to ensure that our teachers are their skill should be built up on understanding these children more deeply and thoroughly. So that is not that being a teacher, you don't understand that, you don't you ignore that child. So definitely, because there is a long connection with the teacher and the child, and she definitely, most of the teachers, they understand that there is something wrong with the child, there is something with the child which is there. But the second stage is there, many of us as a teachers, we are clueless about what is the issue with the child. Then based on our learning previous, we have certain assumptions that अच्छा बच्चे को शायद ये होगा, and let me try out this thing. And in spite of your efforts, we see that the results are not so well as per the expectations, because kahin na kahin pe we need that technical skills which are very very specific. If we use those technical skill, we come to know that this is the problem and this is the right issue, right issue, and this is the right solution. Definitely you will see lot of improvement in the child. But in country we have never worked like that, because of the there was there was no technology, so we could not have the scale, we could not have a mass level program for the teachers. So the whole project inclusion aims at skilling the our teachers to understand these diverse learners, supporting them in the classroom. When once they understand about the children, they identify children through the app, they need real support in the classroom, how to do it, what to do with the child, where we are working as an organization. So we are not only giving a gyan to the teachers, we are understanding their problem in the classroom also. We understand that how their the whole day is very well packed. So it's not, and we don't want to put any other program as a burden to them. So this is very clear that once you are enrolled into the program is going to ease your burden. It is going to ease your problems in the classroom. And you as a coordinator will ensure that if there is 100% participation in your school, that's more important, that you are now the front face of this program in your school, where you will ensuring that you are not the only one who's enrolled into the program. You are ensuring that other teachers are also is a part of this program, they are well benefited. So make sure that all teachers are completing the phase 1 of the program. After the phase 1, they are identifying children in the classroom, because knowledge makes no difference. We all have understood that competences needs to develop when the knowledge, skill, and the attitude, when these three things will not be there, we will not be competent enough to bring inclusive education. So I'm sure that many of us are in the space of having a little bit of knowledge शायद कहीं ना कहीं आप सबके पास थोड़ा बहुत है, लेकिन क्या वो कॉम्पिटेंस अचीव हुई है, क्या वो एटीट्यूड भी है कि हाँ हमें बच्चों के साथ काम करना है, और क्या हमें और ज़्यादा स्किल्स मिली हैं कि जिस स्किल्स को हम यूज़ करके देख पाएँ कि वेदर दीज आर दी स्किल्स विच आर एप्लीकेबल फॉर दीज चिल्ड्रन. सो इस प्रोग्राम को हम बहुत ही वेल स्ट्रक्चर्ड फॉर्म में इंडिया में लेकर आए हैं, और हमारा पर्पज़ है कि देश के एक एक टीचर के पास पहुंचना, एक एक और उनके द्वारा हर बच्चे के पास पहुंचना. So there should not be any child who is left behind just because of lack of awareness among us as a parent, as a teacher, and other stakeholders. So I have a request that all the coordinators who are attending the session, that please take it as a mission, that we ensure that we will do the best in our schools. And I just want to give you the overall participation of KVS right now, like region like Mumbai and Ahmedabad, they have done wonderful, they have shown wonderful participation. Like Ahmedabad, Mumbai has more than around 90% of the teachers have completed the phase 1 of the program, and they have entered into the sharing their case studies. Even Ahmedabad teachers, I think we have got 1,000 case studies in within a week only. So I'm very hopeful that this work will have the positive impact in Ernakulam also. And with today's session, there will be definitely momentum in the program, and we'll be looking for more and more support. And I assure you that that program of providing you intervention in the classroom is the most important objective of our program. So submit the case studies, more and more case studies, so that more and more solutions we can provide you in the classroom. And joining this group has a purpose. So this group has a purpose that any of you feel any problem in this school and any query from the teacher, it can directly come to us so that we can provide you the support also. So this group is not for any nonsense conversation. We assure you that we will not be troubling you for any unnecessary conversation in the group. This group will be very very much focused for implementation of project inclusion and supporting and understanding the issues at the ground level, so that we can create better support structure for you. So any doubt till today, because ultimately we will be working together, so we are the partners in the game, in this program. So I got the message from that somebody is not able to join the group. So our technical team should address this issue, that how they can join better. But any understanding about the program so far, if you are missing on that, ये बात हमें समझ नहीं आया, we'll be very happy to address that. That's more important. Anybody wants to share something? अरे यहाँ आप में से कितने लोगों को ऐसा लगता है कि अगर ऐसा हो जाएगा तो डेफिनेटली वी कैन सी a great change in our schools and in children. एंड यहाँ पे जितने भी स्पेशल एजुकेटर्स हैं, मैं यही उनको भी बताना चाहूंगी कि प्लीज यू ऑल्सो एनरोल इन टू द प्रोग्राम फॉर योर क्रॉस डिसेबिलिटी ट्रेनिंग. Maybe you have developed yourself into the particular disability, so this program will help you to strengthen your abilities also, and you can further support your teachers in these schools. And the program second aim is only that to build a strong partnership between the special educator and a teacher, which is very very much required in the schools. Anybody wants to ask something? It's good to ask questions, because most of you have switched off your cameras, so even we are not very sure whether you are with us in the program or not. But if you will communicate, you'll ask questions, you'll switch on your cameras, then it gives us the idea that yes, you're with us, you're listening to us. Thank you for those who have switched on their cameras, because it really connects us well online. थैंक यू सो मच. सो एनी क्वेश्चंस, बिकॉज अगर आप ध्यान से सुन रहे हैं तो ऐसा हो नहीं सकता कि क्वेरीज ना हो. Anybody, you want to any question, everything is fine, nothing is right and wrong. Yes sir, time limit is there for the completion of the work. Very well said. Because देखिए, अगर टाइम लिमिट नहीं होता तो हम अपनी परफॉर्मेंस को ट्रैक नहीं कर पाते हैं. सो एंड नोबडी कैन वेल अंडरस्टैंड एज एन देन यू एज एन एजुकेटर कि हम एक साल का एक पूरा साइकिल रखते हैं एक बच्चे का एक पर्टिकुलर ग्रेड में, कि यहाँ से वो ये करेगा और एंड ऑफ द ईयर वो ये आउटकम अचीव कर लेगा. So the same year, this program also has the timelines. So the course for the phase one of the program, we give 15 days timeline to the teachers, because we don't want that the teachers should be overwhelmed with something. This is a 7 hours content in the phase one of the program. It is a 7 hours content, and we expect that if teachers spend just half an hour of any day of the day, any time of the day, anytime, if you spend half an hour, you can easily complete your course in 15 days. You did not to exert more. First thing is that. So once you complete your course, you submit your certificate, you will be only having an access to the screening tool. And screening tool means that you don't have to screen every child in the classroom, because those who are performing well, any child with the average performance and the above average performance, need not to use the screening tool at all. So Choose the screening tool for the children who are academically very poor, they are having below average performance, children who are having the behavior subnormality as compared to the other children, they have consistent behavior issue. Or third, if you don't understand anything but you feel that this child is different from others, so these are the three criterias where you should use this screening tool. So if you will use these three criteria, I can understand you will be having only 4 or 5 children in your classroom where you will be requiring to use the screening tool. Then at least use screening tool for all those children, and that screening tool will require only 1 hour of your work. 5 बच्चों को स्क्रीन करने के लिए, एंड टू एंड स्क्रीन करने के लिए आपको 1 घंटे से ज्यादा टाइम नहीं लगेगा। आप उसके लिए भी 2 दिन ले सकते हैं, सो दैट आप बहुत अच्छे से तसल्ली से स्क्रीनिंग करिए। डोंट, बिकॉज स्क्रीनिंग, आपकी स्क्रीनिंग पे एवरीथिंग इज डिपेंडेंट। सो डोंट टेक स्क्रीनिंग टूल एज अ लाइटर थिंग कि अच्छा कुछ भी लिख दें, बिकॉज दैट्स मोर इम्पोर्टेंट। So understand, and we have regular, as Pooja must have told, that we have regular doubt clearing session throughout. At the moment you register on app, आपके पास डाउट क्लियरिंग सेशंस का नोटिफिकेशन आता रहेगा कि आज स्क्रीनिंग का फेज 2 का डाउट क्लियरिंग है, फेज 1 का डाउट क्लियरिंग है, फेज 3 का डाउट क्लियरिंग है। जिससे कि अगर आप कहीं पे अटक रहे हैं स्क्रीनिंग में भी, आपको कहीं पे प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है, एक इज वन इज द ग्रुप, you can always put your query in the group, it will be easily, it will be immediately handled. Otherwise, come in the doubt clearing session and clear your doubts. एंड द थर्ड इज द बिगर फेज। सो मैं समझ रही हूँ कि 1 महीने में हम ये काम तो कर लेंगे, फेज 2 तक का कंप्लीट कर लेंगे, बट डेफिनेटली वर्किंग विद द चाइल्ड इंटरवेंशन टेक लॉन्गर पीरियड, जहाँ पे हम आपके साथ पूरा एंड तक, मार्च तक बनाए रहना चाहते हैं। पहले पहले अगले साल फिर आप और बच्चे लेके आइएगा, जिससे कि आप एवरी वीक जो भी बच्चे के साथ इंटरवेंशंस कर रहे हैं उसको डॉक्यूमेंट कर रहे हैं, सो दैट वी कैन सी द रिजल्ट ग्राफ गोइंग अप। अगर आपको कहीं पे भी वो जो आपने सीखा है, आपको हमारी एक मेंटोर मिलेगा जो आपको सपोर्ट करेगा थ्रू आउट दिस लर्निंग। जब थर्ड फेज शुरू हो जाएगा, इफ यू हैव एनी प्रॉब्लम विद द चाइल्ड, वी विल सपोर्ट यू, we will guide you, will guide the special educators also, so that कि आपने ऐसा प्रोग्राम कहीं नहीं देखा होगा, everybody comes and give the training and they go, कि अच्छा ये करना चाहिए, लेकिन जब करने का समय आता है तब कोई नहीं खड़ा होता कि अच्छा ये प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, अब बताइए क्या करना है। सो वी आर हियर टू मेक अ चेंज। हम लोग बहुत एक इस मिशन पे निकले हैं कि नहीं, आर टीचर हैज टू बी इंक्लूसिव, एंड इंक्लूसिव एजुकेशन हैज टू बी द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट in our country also. We don't have any footprints of inclusive education, so we really want to achieve this, and it is not possible जब तक आप लोगों का पार्टनरशिप हमें नहीं मिलेगा। और the moment you will do it, it is going to ease your burden also in the classroom, in your teaching. सो टोटल अगर देखें तो हम पूरा 6-8 महीने आपके साथ ही रहने वाले हैं। ये है कि पहला महीने में आपको थोड़ा सा फास्ट पेस पे काम करना है, उसके बाद जैसे नेचुरल वे में आप काम करते जाएंगे, और अपनी एफर्ट्स को, अगर आपको कहीं पे भी पॉजिटिव रिजल्ट मिलते हैं, you have to document that efforts, because we want to felicitate those efforts also in end of the year, that these teachers have really worked hard, they have really shown commitment towards the child. सो जो भी मैं बात आपको कह रही हूँ वो अल्टीमेटली आपके द्वारा और आपके टीचर्स को भी पहुंचनी चाहिए, कि उसी कमिटमेंट से उनका भी जो है पार्टिसिपेशन इस प्रोग्राम में होना चाहिए। लेकिन बस यू हैव टू बी रोल मॉडल, ओनली देन यू कैन टेल टू अदर्स। आई होप जो क्वेरी आई थी टाइम की, इट हैज बिन सॉल्व्ड। एनी अदर क्वेश्चन, बट इट इज गुड टू ब्रिंग इट हियर। Any other question? And I hope that everybody is comfortable with English and Hindi, both the languages. So
Yes.
that's really good in Kendra Vidyalayas, because our program is developed in 8 languages, but we could not develop the program in Malayalam because we could not get the right resource to support us in Malayalam language. So any of you can, you have anybody who has a knack in Malayalam, especially in special educators, I will say that if you are from the, you understand the language and the subject also, So do let us know, because then we can develop the program in Malayalam also, so that we can reach to more and more teachers. But in KVs, I think language is not a barrier. We can do with Hindi and English. Any other question? I have registered. Great. So, however, the suggestion I got, let me just open the chat. Okay. So that means that आपका जो भी केस आया है, या तो बच्चा ऑटिज्म में फॉल नहीं कर रहा है, यू फील एज इफ द चाइल्ड इज हैविंग ऑटिज्म, फाइन। अगर वो ऑटिज्म में आएगा तो डेफिनेटली वो हाई रिस्क में अपने आप आ जाएगा। सो दैट इज व्हाई वी वांटेड कि जो भी आपने जो केस करा है उसका फर्दर इवैल्यूएशन एक बार दोबारा से होना चाहिए। इफ यू हैव द साइकोलॉजिस्ट, यू हैव, इफ यू हैव somebody in your school that assessment can happen, then please do that. And if you have the valid documents, we can definitely intervene into the case. So in that case, madam, I will say that kindly put your concern into this. Our team should get back to you. Put your concern in the WhatsApp group and your contact number, so that we can have one-to-one interaction with you and understand your concern also. But seeing your this concern, I'm understanding that. Okay, so he is already taking the therapy, and so he is diagnosed with autism, but still in our app it is not showing as a high risk. So definitely we have to evaluate the course, and we will be needing your inputs on that, because whatever based on your observation, the app calculates the thing. So we have to see that where we both have missed out, and we will take care of this thing, and definitely we will support you in the classroom for that. So I will request the team of project inclusion, who's a technical team for the program, please note down madam this concern, and ensure her that you will be get you someone will get back to her.
Sure, ma'am. Okay.
Any other question, because these are important for us. Thank you so much, madam, for sharing. So, here, how to go to course two, process of learning and start screening. So, if you have completed phase one of the program, automatically in app you will see the screening is written, which is open. Because unless you complete the course, you get the certificate, that screening will not be highlighted. It will show as a gray area, because then, because we are very clear that unless you are sensitized, we don't want to give you the screening tool. Once you are informed, well informed, then we understand that you are in a better position to use the screening tool. So sir, if you have done the course, you have got your screening, your certificate, you can click on the screening app and you do start doing the screening. There it is written that add a child, you will basically write the details of the child and the class, and the screening tool will open. If you still have any issues, come and join our doubt clearing session of screening, where you will be giving the hands-on information how you have to use the screening tool. Try yourself. It doesn't work, please join. Every week there is a phase 2 program. It's not that it is once in a while we do that. Every week there is a phase 2 of the program session. And if my team can mention the dates also on which day we do the phase 2 screening doubt clearing session, so they will come to know that. Yes, anybody else? Great. Um, Santosh ji, for completing the course, and congratulations. And if you can give your if you can share your experience कि आपको ये कोर्स कैसा लगा, how did you feel the course was, so I think that will help your other colleagues also, if you can share your experience of phase 1. Can I request you to share your experience, Santosh sir? Uh, Ambika, madam, wants to say something? Anybody else wants to share something? So I'm taking that. Can I just get on chat that will we be getting the full support from you? आपको लगता है कि इस प्रोग्राम को अगर आप सपोर्ट करेंगे तो वाकई में सभी को फायदा होगा लार्जर स्केल पे. तो अपना रिस्पॉन्स आप चैट बॉक्स में लिख सकते हैं. थैंक यू सो मच सर. With this, I'm seeing that people are sending your response, and hoping that will definitely having a very, very positive support from all of you. And let us make our world more inclusive, and let us be fulfilled with the as a teacher that we are able to take care of every child in the classroom, and every child is able to um, uh, 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 gain their education also, so no child is left behind. So that is our main mission and purpose. And I assure you that the moment you will change your attitude, you will use your learning, there will be a sea change in the performance of the child. So we will together see how the child was here and he's moving up the graph. So thank you so much for patient hearing, and you have been here throughout this session. And thank you so much. And we will meet again and again regarding this program. Dhanyavad. And I want to thank you, my team, also for the wonderful session, Rajvi. And Rajvi is a very, very committed resource of our organization. She's a psychologist, and working for so many years in this field, especially for children with the learning disabilities. And Pooja for creating this session. And again, thank you so much, the Deputy Commissioner and its AC Commissioner of Assistant Commissioner Ernakulam region, for giving us an opportunity to connect with all the audience. And thank you all the teachers and all the special educators. And let us work together. Dhanyavad.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for your valuable word and for motivating us. So, uh, today's session is end here. So you all can leave the session and continue your daily work. Thank you so much for your valuable time. Thank you.